Deadly explosion that rocked the city. 6 firefighters killed nearly 30 years ago. 2 arson fires triggering a massive explosion at a construction site. 5 people convicted, all 5 sent to prison. Now a judge will decide if the youngest one of the group could go free. 41 Action News reporter Brian Abel at today's hearing. He's now live at the memorial for those firefighters. Brian.
Yeah, Mike, today in court we heard arguments both for and against Brian Shepard. Against by family members of the names that you see here in this memorial behind me, hoping that he stays behind bars. And his family, Brian Shepard's family, hoping that a judge will grant him another chance at life outside of prison. Nearly 10 years after the deadly 1988 arson explosion in Kansas City that killed 6 firefighters, Brian Shepard was one of 5 people convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In late September of last year, a potential second lease on life for Shepard, a Supreme Court ruling that it's unconstitutional for juveniles at the time of the crime to not have a shot at parole. Today in downtown Kansas City's federal court, that chance, a resentencing hearing for Shepard. 2 daughters in the courtroom hoping for very different outcomes.
I think he's done enough time. He's served his time. He's ready to come home.
All of us suffer every day for all of these years, and that we hope that the punishment will match the magnitude of this crime.
Shepard's lawyer today argued that Shepard has been a model inmate since his time in prison and that his actions in 1988 were due to adolescence with no intent of harm. Family members testified to the support system Shepard has if he were to be released.
Write letters back and forth, send pictures. He calls and wishes my children happy Valentine's Day and Merry Christmas. On their birthdays, he calls and sings happy birthday.
The United States government argues the crime was so severe and the effects so lasting that the sentencing should match and remain a life sentence.
I understand that the convicted has been in jail and has had a chance to help and become a better person, and I am thankful for that. But it doesn't change the fact that his crime was devastating to everyone involved.
Now, after all the arguments, the judge said that he has a lot to consider and wouldn't make a decision today. That decision, whether Brian Shepard will once again have life outside of prison, will be made March 3rd. Reporting live in Kansas City tonight, Brian Abel, 41 Action News.
Brian, thank you. Here's a closer look at that explosion. On November 29, 1988, 6 firefighters died when that storage container exploded. Inside the container, 25,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate. It's a common ingredient in fertilizer. 5 people were convicted for the crime, and because of that explosion, the Kansas City Fire Department and really all departments across the country changed the way they responded to situations involving hazardous materials.